Hi, this is part two of Muse navigation. We're going to start with designing with widgets. That is going to be our main navigation for this file. Okay, so we're going to actually look at the widgets file that we downloaded off of the file, the Start Muse file that we downloaded originally. So you'll notice in your files, you'll see a widgets.muse file. Just double click it. We're just going to take a look at what we're going to create today. Okay, you're going to click on the main master page, and you'll notice that it looks like where we left off. Okay, what we are going to be creating today is the widgets that go underneath it, the different button categories. So we're going to double click on the master page actually using this file. Okay, double click on the main master. And we're going to go to the navigation, the widget navigation panel. So if we go under Window, if we don't see it already, Window, Widgets, Library. Okay, so this is going to give us a library with a bunch of categories, buttons, compositions, forms, menus, and so on. Okay, for this case, we're going to open the menus. We're going to click on horizontal, click and drag it out and drop it. And you're going to notice it gave us automatic buttons. These are considered widgets. Buttons have different states in web design. If you click on just one click, you'll notice that it highlights the entire widget. Okay, if I click one more time on a certain category, let's say the menu, it automatically will unselect all of the buttons and just select the one that I wanted to work on. The beautiful thing in Muse is that when I work on one button, it applies to all. So now we're going to actually we're going to edit the font before we do anything to the buttons and the widgets. So we're going to click on just the text box, and I can click on the text box, go to the T tool, and pull it down to Open Sans Condensed Bold, and it will automatically change my entire font in that text container. Remember, Muse uses text containers, not text boxes. We can do the same thing with our widget. I could just click on the one outside box, go to my text tool, pull it down, pull my text down to Open Sans Condensed Bold, and it will automatically change all the fonts on there. I do not need to individually select the fonts. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to define the states of the buttons. A state is, let's actually find out where we open our state. So if we go under Window to States, okay, it'll give you a state panel. Okay, we're going to click on our widget, and now I'm going to double click on one category. Does not matter which one. So you're going to notice that when I define one of these buttons, it gives me different states: a normal state, a rollover state, a mouse down, and an active state. These are the different attributes or formatting that we're giving to the buttons when we roll over the buttons or mouse down on the buttons, or if the button is active, we're currently on that page, what the button would look like. So this is really to determine the formatting for the different stages of the buttons, which are referred to as states. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the normal, which it currently is. I'm going to set my normal fill to none. So automatically, after I click my normal, if I click on the rollover, it did not hold that formatting. So with the first step you should always do is define your normal background, and then when you go over the other states and just click the trash button, and it will automatically take on the formatting of the normal stage. So now if you click through, oops, this one we didn't trash, it'll automatically take the normal state. Okay, so for this case we are going to click on a category. I'm just going to define the active state. That's the only thing I want to do with this one. So if I click on the active, I clicked on my button, all I need to do is, if let's just say I want my text to be the light brown color. So I have my button selected, I go to my text tool, which is the T, and then I can go to the color of the text, apply it to light brown, and it will automatically change on my page, my active page, as well as in my states. You'll notice that the words home are now the light brown color. Okay, it'll automatically apply this to each page they are on. So remember, we're creating this in the master main. Okay, so you'll notice when you look at this on the home, it applies it to the home. If you look at the menu, it applies it to menu page. So see how it automatically links in Muse. If you look at each button, category is highlighted because that's the category page, and contact is highlighted. Okay, that's how master pages work. They automatically link the pages. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to click on our main page again. We're going to click on the widget. I'm going to make my widget a little more narrow. So if I click the 3 circles to the right and I click and drag closer together, I can make my entire button more narrow, and I can click and drag to recenter it. So for this case, for this tutorial, I'm going to click on my widget, and I am going to do Edit, Copy, and then I'm going to go back to my plan mode. I'm going to click on my interior main page, and I'm going to hit Edit, Paste. And it's going to take my widget and place it in my interior page. Then I'm going to click and drag it to the top right so that I have my navigation bar on the top there. The only thing I'm going to do right off the bat when I place this on my interior page is Muse is, if I click on my widget, if I look on the top, it's automatically reading it as a footer, because that's what it was originally intended to be, placed at the bottom of the page. But in this case, this is not a footer, so I just need to remember to check off that it's not. So uncheck that it's not a footer for this page. Okay. So then I'm also going to go back to my plan mode, and if you just take a look at your thumbnails, you'll see that you now have a header and footers on your interior pages, and your main has it as the footer still. I'm going to go to my home page, my actual home page, not my main master, and I'm going to paste again my footer just into the individual page, and I'm going to click and drag, keep it here for future use for when we design our page. So I'm going to look at my plan mode again. You'll notice it's sitting there, and then we still have the individual pages. So for this case, we're just going to File, Preview Site and Browser, look at what we did. Okay, so I actually notice how when we preview it in browser, the home page is still sitting there. It's waiting for us to do something in a future tutorial. Menu, Gallery, and Contact. Alright, so that's the end of tutorial part 1 or part 2, and the next tutorial will actually be designing some pages. So you did a great job today. Looking forward to the next tutorial. Take care.